Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to Real Reds Talk, a modern, independent fan channel for Manchester United viewers. On today's show, we're going to be reacting to Erik ten Hag's first official press conference as Manchester United manager. He's also done a 15-minute interview with MUTV that we're going to pull a few quotes from as well. Lots of good questions asked. Plenty of firm answers from the boss. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell for your daily football fix. Lads, I'll start off with a non-football related question. How you doing? Sam, I'll go to you first. How are you?
I'm glad the season is over because that was one of the worst seasons I've ever had to witness. That was horrible.
It really was.
And I'm glad it's finished because I would, like, if I had to do another 2-3 weekends of watching that,
it was bad. That Palace game was really bad.
I might have had to go on medication because that was bad.
That's what I'm saying. I turned it off at 80th minute. I was like, fuck this, I'm done. Like, we're not going to score. We're definitely not going to score. I'm absolutely finished with this season. I'm so happy it's over. And that's the first thing I led with, as you remember. As soon as the game finished, I was like, guys, we're done. The season's over. We can actually something to smile about, ironically.
Yeah. I had three screens on the go. So I had my girlfriend's tablet with the Liverpool game. I had my laptop with the City game and I had United on the big screen. I didn't even fucking look at our screen most of the time.
Yeah,
I'm like, nothing's going to happen. I'm not missing anything. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to do anything. What's the point?
It's because there's more interesting shit going on to the side of you. It's like, you've seen that meme where it's like the girl you're not supposed to worry about, the guys but not supposed to worry about, and like looking behind. That's what I feel like. Shreyas, you're smiling at the moment. You seem relatively happy. Are you happy the season's done now?
Yeah, I think it is after months now that I slept with a smile on my face after so long. At 2 a.m. when I slept, I was so happy. Yeah. for such a long time, I actually felt that this was worth it because it is over now.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's like actually like a release, isn't it? As soon as that game, the 90th minute just went right, done. I was like, man, I don't even want to reflect on the season, but we're gonna do that on Thursday for the big season review, which is going to be very interesting. It's going to be of all of us on the channel discussing this season, so it's going to be a bit mental. But yeah, on today's show specifically, we're obviously going to be talking about Erik ten Hag. There's a few quotes I want to dig into, and kind of just say Erik ten Hag's English is better than fucking Harry Kane's. Like, I thought with him coming from the Eredivisie, I didn't think his English would be that great, but he understood every question the journalists were asking him. He gave very good answers in English. So yeah, impressed with that from straight off the bat. Let's jump into it, lads. The first one that stood out for me personally was when he got asked about Pep Guardiola and Klopp and how good of a job they're doing. And his response was, I admire them both, Manchester City and Liverpool. They both play fantastic football, but you will always see an era come to an end, which I like that last bit. Certainly seems confident and up for the challenge, but how realistic is it that within a few years it'll be near that level with the right coaching and the right recruitment? Shreyas, I'll go to you on that one.
I mean, I was actually really glad to hear that coming from him. He's just starting right now, and it is good that the manager who's coming in, he knows the scene that has been going on, the trend that has been going on in the Premier League for the past few seasons, and he knows what the challenge is, and he's not really scared to be able to be in that position and come out and say that I'm here now, give me the time to work on it, and you'll be seeing someone else than Liverpool and City dominating the league. And when you're Manchester United, you would want that to happen, and you would want your manager to have that vision as well. I mean, it's kind of like, he was saying that, this is just a brief spell where you're seeing these two clubs having, fun in the Premier League, but we are going to be back. And when we are going to be back, there's not going to be a question where we'll be looking at a second or third position spot, because it will just be first spot is cemented for us, which had been the case for us for quite some time, that we were the ones who won this league and we used to win it, season after season. So I'm glad that he has that approach. And he has that vision, and I can't wait to see him getting started and pulling out all the tricks and all the system he has in his mind.
Absolutely, because he's definitely a quality tactician. I think
we've
seen that with Ajax in the Champions League. Sam, realistically, what do you think timeline? I don't know if I've asked you this before, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Timeline of how long it'll take him to get United to where they should be, or at least, challenging these teams around him.
You'd hope 3 years. You'd hope that'd be like the sort of target. And in those 3 years, maybe win a trophy, like an FA Cup or a League Cup or a Europa League, something like that.
Yeah.
Win that. So he's then got someone under his belt where he can be like, I'm challenging, I've won a trophy, got a team building, blah, blah, blah. Like he has something to sort of stamp his authority on if he wins. I think that's the one thing Solskjaer had missing. He didn't win a trophy. And he had plenty of opportunities. He got to semi-finals and bottled every single one of them. He got to finals and bottled them. So he didn't have that. He didn't have a leg to stand on, really, once it came to like the dark times where he ended up getting sacked. I think that's what Ten Hag needs to do. He needs to win a trophy within the first 3 years. Obviously not a league or a Champions League, because that's not happening. And then after 3 years, we need to start seeing it as a resemblance of the team he's built and him challenging for a title, him challenging for a Champions League, something like that. That's what I'd like to see. Whether that's idealistic or not, I don't know. I also think City and Liverpool are probably going to change as well, because like that Liverpool team is getting old. Like it's getting older. Mane is, what is he, 29, 28?
Yeah, I think Salah's similar age.
Salah's nearly 30. Firmino's probably going to go this summer, I think, isn't he?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
If not, he's out of the team now. Yeah, they are replacing with Jota and Luis Diaz. But and then Van Dijk's not that young either. Like he's going to age out. James Milner's 34, 35. Yeah. John Henderson. All their spine of their team, they're going to get older. And then hopefully we are going to be building a team at the same time they're on the decline.
Yeah.
So hopefully the confluence of events, because they don't have massive budget. Like they do have a budget, obviously they buy players, but they're not City, they're not PSG. They don't have that money where they can just be like, best player in the world, best player in the world, best player. They can't do that. They do smart business. So you got to hope that you can catch them on the decline as they're replacing their aging stars, and hopefully we come up at the right time and we can get in the mix. City is a different matter because obviously they have all the money in the world.
Open checkbook, innit? Pretty much.
Yeah. Like Pep Guardiola can just be like, oh, that centre back 50 million, yeah, get him. Oh, he's shit, don't like him, get me another one. Oh yeah, he doesn't like it, get me another one. And you can just do that forever with every single position.
Yeah.
And we can't. I don't know. We probably could do that with the money we got, but we're not going to. Like the Glazers are not going to do that. They're not going to sanction that. So we need to be smart about it. And if we're smart with the right people, with the right recruitment, and Ten Hag gets the players he wants and the tactics, and then we sort of again time it right, we could do something.
Yeah.
But again, that's all ifs and all things going right in our favour, which doesn't often happen in football. So.
Yeah, that's kind of the knock on Pep Guardiola's name, in it, that he's never done it with like an underachieving team, or like a sort of a team you wouldn't expect, like Mourinho with Porto, or Sir Alex Ferguson with Aberdeen. Like he's never done it with one of them kind of. It's always the top team in whatever country, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and obviously Manchester City now with all the money they've got and stuff. So that's the one knock on Pep's name, and obviously the Champions League as well with City. But Shreyas, do you think you can emulate what Pep and Klopp have done in the Premier League? Do you think that could be done again by like a Ten Hag, or by a different manager coming in?
I think when it comes to the success that they've had and the way they've gone about making their teams, especially Klopp, I think that could happen. But when I still see Ten Hag and the way he conducted himself during the interview, it looked like he wants everything to go about the way he wants, and he's bringing a whole new dynamic to the Premier League. And that's one of the things that he mentioned a lot about his dynamic and his system and the way he likes to influence his team. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing a completely different approach to how Liverpool and City have actually built their teams and how they've gone about to win their trophies. But I think that's one of the things that matters. Even if he's doing something different and he's able to reach the same destination, because at the end of the day, all we want is to win some trophies. And if he's going to be getting those trophies in, I don't care what route it is, but If he's getting that, then, and plus the way he's done it at Ajax as well, obviously he knows what he's doing. So back him up. And you never know, it's sometimes it's just, the manager is also, able to elevate the level of the team, because the players also know that if they are not cutting it, then they're going to be dropped off to the bench. And he is also bringing that ruthlessness with him. And we've seen it at Ajax as well. When he's not like the player, he's just discarded him from the team and sold him in the coming window. So I do see what he's going to be bringing in. And I'm very excited for it as well, because it's been a long time, that we've seen a manager, who has a complete vision in his mind. He, isn't one of those managers who picks players according to, favoritism, or, there's any partiality. He's one of those managers who looks how the player conducts himself on and off the pitch, and even in the training grounds. So that's how he conducts himself. And I'm glad that we got him now, because we know how things would have been if we didn't. So I'm really, really excited as to, what comes out after the summer break and the players come in, because there's going to be loads for us to cover as well. And definitely, it's going to be a good time. I'm feeling that it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, there's definitely some form of positivity, whichever way you look at it, going into the summer. As we've said millions of times before, we've got players leaving who a lot of us want to leave. New signings are always interesting. To see how they're going to fit into the system and stuff, and who they're going to buy. And it's going to be a slightly different recruitment sort of process, I believe. They're not going to kind of go down the older players, already big names. It's going to be a different kind of tactic going into that. So that's interesting. And yeah, I am excited. I'm just slightly skeptical a little bit, just because I know United and I know the history of the club.
Yeah.
And I know the way it's been. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get onto that a little bit later on. Another quote I wanted to get into, Sam, was about Harry Maguire. He got asked about the possibility of retaining Harry Maguire as captain. And he says, I have to repeat, next season is a different season, but I think he did a great job. He is a great player. He achieved a lot. Also, the contribution to Manchester United. So I'm looking forward to working with him. One, I was quite surprised he had such high praise for a captain who's been abysmal this season. Also, I'm not sure what he's talking about when he says he's achieved a lot, because he literally hasn't won a trophy. So I'm not sure what he's on about there. But it is a fresh start. He is a good ball-playing centre-back. And do you see a future for Barry?
Barry. It's interesting that he didn't confirm or deny whether he's going to be captain or not, did he?
It's a good point.
So he didn't say, yes, he's definitely going to be captain. And he didn't say, I'm going to strip him either. So
that's true. It's true.
If he decides he is going to take the captaincy off him, no journalist can come to him and be like, well, you said in your press conference that. So, I didn't expect him to come in and slag any players off. Because it's your first day on the job. You're not going to come in and just turn the entire dressing room against you. He's not going to come in he's not going to come in and just go, right, here's my list of players.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire, shite. Bruno Fernandes, shite. Yeah. And just he's not going to do it. He's going to make
measured
it
approach.
Look. He's going to make it look as if he thinks the squad's good. It's just been a weird season. He's going to put a shine on it and make it look better. But I think behind closed doors, he's going to be having some serious conversations with certain players and be like, you need to shape up, because if this season you don't do it,
you better shape up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Grease mega mix in the changing room going on.
Dead eyes blasting the radio.
Yeah,
John Travolta.
So they need to. Yeah, there's gonna be certain players where it's like, you need to do it this season. You've got one season, and if you don't, you're gone. And I hope that's the way he approaches it. I hope he gives them, you've all got fresh start. You've all got one season. If you don't do it, then you're getting sold.
It's so interesting though, because the amount of players how bad they're playing.
Yeah.
What he's going to do with them, because I just can't imagine a world Treyas where you've got Marcus Rashford skinning man again, scoring goals, assisting. Maguire's colossal in games, winning headers, commanding his defense. I just cannot fathom it. I
don't think Maguire starts under Ten Hag. I don't think he starts.
Not a chance.
I think he's going to bring in Timber or somebody like that, and it's going to be him.
It's
and Ryan,
going down.
Him and Lindelof.
Timber, you better move.
He's getting that chant going, isn't he? He wants that chant going so bad.
That will be going in Old Trafford, I'm telling you now.
Yeah, I think he's bringing in centre back for sure. Like I'm 99% sure he's bringing in centre back. So I don't think Maguire is going to start under him. So I think that's going to be step one. Marcus Rashford, I think he thinks he can get something out of him.
I believe he can.
I think he thinks the same about Luke Shaw because he's seen them play fantastically well. Yeah. So he knows he can get something out of them. So I think he's confident in his own abilities to get something and get them to be better. So I think that's what he's sort of relying on, I think under Ole, Rashford's kind of missed out on about 3 years of coaching, like proper coaching, because under Ole, as we know, it was just, 6 at the back, counter-attacking football, and that was kind of it. So it suited Rashford in the sense where he can run in behind, but when it comes to like tactical approach, there wasn't much in it under Ole. But yeah, Shreyas, just sticking with Barrett, do you see him as captain of the club when it started? No, don't even let me finish the question. Not even a question. No, move on. Next question.
100%, because I'm going to clip this up if he is captain next season. 100% Barry Maguire is not going to be the captain next season. No. Ronaldo, do you think?
Yeah, Ronaldo's going to be captain.
Yeah.
Why do you think Ten Hag will do that? Talk to me about it. How do you think he'll go about it? Because we know what the media is like surrounding Manchester United. As soon as they find a sniff that Ten Hag's going to take it off Barry, that's it. It's game on. Like, journalists are going to blow the fuck of that. You know what they're like with English players. So yeah, what's your thought process behind that? Why do you think he's going to strip him of the captaincy?
I think, I've seen how Ten Hag wants his captains as well. He wants players who are able to, elevate the level and elevate the energies when the, squad is on the pitch. And he needs that leader on the pitch. And Maguire isn't that leader. We've seen how passive he is. We've seen other players being more involved. If I have to compare it with Maguire's involvement in a game. And even when he's commanding, he's never really looked confident, and it never has really, looked like other players are responding to him on the pitch either.
Yeah.
And you can't have that if you have to be the captain of a club like Manchester United, who's desperately fighting for titles and it's in a bad phase. So I think Ten Hag would actually replace the captain. That's why the statement that it's going to be a different season. I mean, it was a mixed remark, if I would say. It wasn't a clear remark whether Maguire is going to stay as captain. And for me, I think, even before coming to the club, he has done his homework about, and he's seen the Crystal Palace game as well. So he knows what the problem areas are, except for the fact that the locker room is a mess. So changing the captain and especially changing it to Ronaldo, I think it would do the squad a lot well, because Ronaldo is that leader. He brings that mentality into the squad. And when a player like Ronaldo is your captain, you can't go about pulling in heartless performances on the pitch and expecting to, start week in and week out. That's the way things are going to go about. If Ronaldo is going to be captain, you have to pull out performances week in and week out. It doesn't matter whether you're a man of the match or not. You still have to be solid in your roles. You still have to complement the system and, contribute on the pitch. So I do see Maguire being stripped of the captaincy. And another thing being that I really don't see him starting either a lot under Ten Hag, because if he does start under Ten Hag, our defense will be shambolic. There's no doubt about it. Because if we are playing a high line with Maguire, we are going to be getting hit with counter-attack every single moment, the moment we lose the ball.
Do you think he deserves a chance, though, under Ten Hag?
I think
with it being a fresh start, let's say. I'll throw that question to both of you, Sam and Shreyas.
Yeah.
Shreyas, do you think he deserves a fresh start or at least a chance to impress Ten Hag?
I think more than deserve, I think he'll still get a shot because of the price tag and the way the club has invested in him. I still think, that he'll get a shot at, impressing Ten Hag or even or just make a case for himself to be in the starting lineup. But I would still say that it's going to be real tough for him, considering the pecking order as to how it would be, because you've still got Varane. You've pretty much got Timber coming in. So that's 2 centre-backs. And then we've already got Lindelof as a backup option. So for me, Maguire is fourth choice.
Okay, interesting. Sam, do you think he'll get a chance to prove himself under Erik ten Hag?
Yeah, I think everybody will get an opportunity.
Yeah.
We've got pre-season games, so I'm sure he'll get starts. I'm sure he'll get time. He's got how many months now? till the season. He's got 3 months in training, and 3 months. How many preseason? We got like 6 preseason games.
We start 27th of June, so you finish like what, mid-August, maybe early August.
So
yeah,
he's going to have opportunities to play. He's going to have opportunities to start. I think Ten Hag will look at him. He'll assess. He'll work out, like, is he going to work in my system? Is he going to work hard enough? Is he going to have the ability? All that sort of stuff. I think he'll be given opportunities in preseason to prove to Ten Hag if he's going to make it into his team. But I can't, unless Ten Hag suddenly starts playing a back five.
It's the pace that
I don't see how he gets in, because Maguire works in a back three or back five. Like, that's the only way he works, because in England he looks like a world beater because he plays in a back five.
Yeah,
that's the only way, and Ten Hag doesn't play that way.
And when England don't play in a back five, they play in a very they play like a 4-2-3-1
with two DMs in front of him. So
very protective of him, which is why Ole played that system, the sort of 6 at the back counter attack, because you knew as soon as you expose him, you've seen what happened. He's been at fault for 17, 18 goals this season alone, pretty much. So yeah, it will be a risk, but I'm going to make a bold claim. Where's my camera? I'm going to make a bold claim, right? Harry Maguire will be in that team next season and he'll be performing decent. Telling you now.
I hope so.
Telling you now. He'll be in that team. I just think the reason why I think that is, I think on the ball, he's very good. He's actually underrated on the ball. Like, he's playing out from the back, he's decent. He doesn't do enough because the patterns of play on the pitch, I think the coaching's been slightly off a little bit. I think once Ten Hag comes in and gets his hands on him, I think the way he likes playing out from the back, Maguire will be decent for that. The only thing I'm worried about is just the pace thing. Like I said, then I think that's the risky part of it.
I think what lets him down as well is, like, when he, like you said, he is good on the ball, but when he bombs forward, nobody shows for him, and the options he has are awful.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, he'd look to the right, he'd have Wan-Bissaka. Well, he's not going to pass to him, is he? Because what's he going to do?
And then McTominay as well. I've seen plenty of videos.
McTominay's there. What's he going to do?
He hides behind players.
Yeah.
In the City game,
but even if he passes to McTominay, what's McTominay going to do? Pass it 4 yards to the left or behind him? Like, there's no point.
So I actually think it's a case of what you say, Shreyas, about De Gea and his distribution, the way players don't kind of like show for him. I think that's a similar thing with Maguire. Like, players are afraid to show for him, so you can't progress the ball through the lines when, you know,
he runs, doesn't he? He like starts on the edge of the box and he ends up going to like the sort of midway point after the halfway line in their box. And it's just like, there's nobody in that space that he can pass to. So he has to run all the way up to the up front to get to where Bruno is, where Sancho is, where Rashford is, to get the ball to them, because they're the only ones capable of delivering a ball. Because we have no fullbacks who are capable of doing that. No one. And we have no midfielders.
If you look at Jurrien Timber for Ajax, the way he plays, he's very fluid. He's very composed. He's very quick. And he can play in DM. He can play at right back. He can play in multiple positions. And the way Ten Hag plays, where he likes that high press, you need players that are confident and can read the game really well and have a bit of like physical attributes about him. So I think Maguire's got some of them traits, but I think, you know, the other ones, it's very risky to play him in that system, the way he has the centre-backs with the verticality and the runs and stuff when players drop in. So it'd be interesting to see what happens.
I think just the one last thing on Barry. I think if we got, this is what I'm crying, because I've said it on every video, I'm sick of being linked with every other player except a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
I think if we got a very good defensive midfielder and a fantastic number 8, right there, I think you see Harry Maguire look so much better. So much better, because he'll get the ball. He's got, let's for argument's sake, and make Nick happy, Tchouaméni's in front of him and Frankie de Jong in front of him. That's two amazing options to pass to. And it's
naturally, it's just infectious, isn't it, to the rest of the team?
So it's like, oh, great, he gets hold of the ball, Tchouaméni, Frankie de Jong, bang, attack on the way, go.
Yeah.
And automatically looks like he's starting the attack, and it literally he's not doing much at all. He's just getting the ball and getting it out to the midfielders. I think he'd look so much better.
Actually, I think as well, if you take the captaincy off him, I think less pressure would be on him as well to perform.
Yeah,
I think he can kind of go about his way in a game and feel his way out and stuff. we'll see what happens with Harry Maguire. Let's move on to another quote. He also got asked about the future of the club. He said, "We have a strategy and a concept." Well, he actually said a strategy. A strategy and a concept. We will work on that. As manager, I have to bring something to the club, a dynamic. If you want to be top, you have to demand. That is what we will do. I have good feeling from people around now. It's about getting the plan done. We've obviously seen some of the best managers in the world, lads, come and go at this club. So my question is to you lot, why will this be any different? Talk to me. Anyone can take that one.
I think why it will be different, I don't know if I necessarily believe it will, but reasons why it could be different. Iwa Wuru has disappeared. So he's gone. So that's Ed Woodward without the D's. You I've broken Nick.
Where's that come from?
You've not heard that before. Like, people do it. So it's like, what is Ed Woodward's name if you take the D's out?
That's hilarious. Iwa Woo.
Yeah, that's his name. If you take the D's out.
Oh, you're going to start me on the path. I'm going to be looking at every player's names now. Ronaldo. Oh my God.
Yeah, if you take him away,
Jesus.
He's gone. Who were the scouts? What were their names?
Marcel. I can't remember it. Marcel.
Yeah, Warren Joyce. Warren Joyce, was he one of them?
I can't remember the names, but I know you're on about.
Whoever, yeah. So the scouting department's gone. Ed's gone. Matt Judge. Matt Judge has gone.
Wow.
What's the other guy called? Fuck, I can't remember what he's called. Yeah, so basically our entire
loads of him
hierarchy is just fucked off completely.
Yeah.
So you got a brand new scouting system. You got a brand new chair. Is it CEO chairman in
Richard Arnold?
Richard Arnold.
Oh no, Murtagh's like the sporting
the director
now,
of football. Yeah. Darren Fletcher. You've got new scouts coming in, I assume, to replace the guys who have gone. Hopefully, you got Ralph, even though like it seems to be by the day, it seems to be like his job seems to be getting smaller and smaller, doesn't it?
When he got asked about Ralph, I don't know if you've noticed that. He got asked about Ralph.
I don't think Ralph's going to be here. I think
slowly out the door. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because I think he'd be good to have around, but it is what it is.
Best thing to have is club for a while.
Yeah. So he'll have new people around him. Obviously, he's brought his assistant in from Ajax. He's bringing in Steve McLaren as well, who knows United, who knows the league, knows England, like all that sort of stuff. So I think he's good to have. So there'd be all reasons that I think you've got 10 players leaving the club who I think we all agree should have left about 3-4 years ago at this point. Like,
definitely.
So I think they're all positive things in his favour that could change the difference and make a difference. Whether it does or not remains to be seen, and we'll see what happens. But they're all the positive things I think would be in his favour.
Would you agree with that statement, Shreyas? And also, I'll throw another question to you. Is this one of the toughest jobs in Europe right now, the rebuild that he's got in his hands?
I do agree with him, especially about the Ed Woodward statement as well. I think he's bang on with that.
Wait. Yeah.
Don't start me off again. I've just cleared that from my mind. That's been like Control-Alt-Delete out my fucking head. Go on, sorry.
But I think this is one of the toughest jobs in Europe right now because Manchester United is a big club. There's quality which is demanded from this club every season, and this is one of the worst seasons that they've had. In the Premier League era. So still coming into the kind of performance that he saw against Crystal Palace as well.
Is he going? Oh, I thought he was going.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't want to do it like on the mic. Sorry.
You're not having nosebleed again, are you?
Fingers crossed. No.
Yeah.
All good so far. Continue, Shreyas. Apologies.
And the way he also reacted. You could see the look at his face during the Crystal Palace game as well. So he knows what he's coming in for. And except that as well, when you see that squad on the pitch, no one's on the same page. They don't look like a team, and we've said it a lot of times as well. Those players don't really respect the club, and they don't really understand what kind of a club they're actually playing for. So
that's
I think
understatement as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So disrespectful.
So right now he's walking into a locker room where the players are not motivated at all, and most of them are not even confident about playing for the club. And to add to that, I don't think most of them even deserve to play for the club as well. So coming in,
yeah,
yeah,
about 70% of him, I honestly, I'd just be like, yeah, fuck off.
yeah.
At this point, the way the season's gone, there's like 3-4 players that can hold the head slightly
Yeah.
high.
Like if Ten Hag, like his first match press conference, just went in and went, by the way, about 15 of the players you saw last season, I never played again. I'd be like, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I'd be all right with that. I'd be fine with that.
So yeah, I agree with you on that, Shreyas, definitely.
So, and to come in, and then there are going to be expectations from him, because we all know that, even though we know that he's going to take time, and it's not going to be a case where we're straight into the top 4. It's going to take time for him to develop the system. Obviously, there's going to be people who are going to be saying it's not working out and stuff like that. But I think there is going to be a lot of expectations from him as to how he'll deliver with the squad. Especially after he gets the signings as well, because we've seen how managers get thrown pelters during the press conferences after they get their signings, and they don't really work out instantly when they're put into the squad on the pitch. So I think it is going to be a really tough job, because honestly, when you are representing Man United, you still carry a target on your back, especially from the media, because they are looking at one mistake and they just going to go crazy about that. So
yeah.
I think it is a really tough job, but I'm happy, that he understands what he's in for, and he's confident about it as well.
Yeah. I think he's got a bit of a cold side to him as well, like a very rash side. I've seen clips of him when he's at Ajax, and if a player isn't putting in, certain yards or whatever, I remember him saying, he was like, "This is for the team. Fuck off doing that."
Yeah, it was for Noah Lang. When Noah Lang was at Ajax, he was dribbling and on the pitch, he just went crazy on him, and he was gone. He was gone from the team. He was gone in the next window to Club Brugge.
Pep does it every week. You see it. Like, even when Pep's 4-0 up, if like Mahrez or Sterling messes the thing up, he's bollocking him from the sidelines. He's going mental, and that's when they're 4-0 up. And that's the kind of manager you want. You want a manager who's going to, it doesn't matter if 3-0 up, 4-0 up, whatever it is. If you do something wrong, he's going to be on your ass, mate.
And I actually think there's a lot of similarities between both of them. Like, I think obviously because they worked together at Bayern Munich, so a lot of what, I think he said it in interviews before, a lot of what Ten Hag does has learned from Pep, and he takes that from Pep and puts, like his own little twist on it, basically. And yeah, he certainly seems, methodical in his thinking. I know he pays a great attention to detail. The people that have worked with him on the training ground and stuff said he's literally like obsessed with it, absolutely obsessed with it, like down to like the youth academy. He even watches like a lot of youth games, speaks to the youth players. So he is like deep rooted in the club when he goes in there, and I think that's exactly something that Manchester United need. Let's move on to the next quote, guys. We touched on the board and stuff, didn't we? So
yeah,
excuse me. He also got asked, what are you seeing happening in the next few weeks? So basically, what's the immediate plan now you're in Manchester, basically? And he said, first, we have a break. We will start pre-season on the 27th of June, and I will get a few of the squad. I'll get a few of the squad in certain positions. We want to renew the squad. 1 year ago, this squad was second in the league. We always talk about this team on paper, guys, but on a scale, how much are they actually underperforming, and how good can some of these players be? So give me some examples, including youngsters as well. Like we talk about, Jadon Sancho, Ronaldo, maybe Rashford, David De Gea. Shaw, yeah, we know the form that Shaw's capable of. Sorry, Dallow's look good at times. Who did you say then? Shreyas? Bruno, yeah, Bruno. I don't know. I forgot about Bruno Fernandes. Like this kind of thing is like, oh, they're good on paper or whatever. Do you buy into that, or do you think they can actually be like world class players? Like, Ronaldo's already world class, let's be honest, but the others that I've mentioned,
I think Bruno could be world class. I think he's got the ability. I think Rashford has shown glimpses of it. Like when Rashford is at the top of his game, he's nearly unstoppable. Like we've seen it
Yeah.
He's just absolutely tearing defenders to pieces and then burying it in the net behind the keeper. Like, he's unstoppable when he's on it. I think Bruno's the same. When Bruno's flowing and things are going well, he's one of the best midfielders in the world. Like, he can, his statistics speak for themselves, don't they? Even when he's shit, he's still doing amazing things. So I think he's one of that. Luke Shaw, I'm less optimistic about, because he's only shown amazing form for a short period of time, and he's been at the club for 8 years. Fuck me. And he's done what, 7-8 months of a season and an international tournament.
Yeah, he was all right before the injury. He did okay.
Yeah.
Then he had the injury. Then since then, he was just kind of here, there. And then obviously last season, he really picked up, didn't he, and looked like.
And then he was
insane.
a great tournament as well. Like, so there's something there, but he just hasn't shown it enough. Whereas Rashford's done it for a full season, like, and he's had glimpses before when he was young and stuff like that. So I think that's there. Obviously, Bruno proves with his numbers and stuff like that, and we've seen it. Ronaldo obviously is Ronaldo. So Sancho, we've paid a lot of money for him. He was at City Academy, he's been to Dortmund, he broke all sorts of records in Dortmund, his assists and stuff like that, and goals. So there's potential for a fantastic player there. Whether it be world class or not remains to be seen. But
I think he was world class in the Bundesliga for Dortmund.
Yeah,
one of the best wingers in Europe.
Again, but doing it in the Premier League is very different. Like, we've seen so many players come from the Bundesliga and not work, and then we've seen ones that have, but.
It's starting to turn that way, though, isn't it? With him, like,
he's started to show glimpses, but he's not done it
on a consistent basis.
He's absolutely smashed out of the park, and I think under Ten Hag he could do that. I think, for me, the really important ones that I see Ten Hag underneath and him getting something out of him: Bruno, Shaw, Rashford, Sancho, and they're the sort of ones I look at and I go, he can get something out of these guys. I think he can work with them and get something out of them.
Definitely. And you got asked about Ronaldo as well, didn't you? And he said, Ronaldo, what do you think about him? He went, goals. And everyone started laughing. He's like, yeah, fair enough. So I think he's a fan of Ronaldo. Shreyas, what do you think, certain young players, who do you think might sort of rise to the top under Ten Hag? Let me give you. You've got Garnacho, you've got Mabry, Ahmad, Garner to come back. You've got a lot of young talent there. So who do you see
Elanga
sort of coming to the top? Elanga included as well, yeah, of course.
I think, with the kind of young talent we've got at the moment as well, with most of them even getting call-ups for the national teams as well, I think there's a lot of scope and potential there. Especially, I'm personally really, really impressed with Mabry. In the short, minutes that he's got. I think he's one of those players who could actually, be one of the guys that Ten Hag looks at and goes, I really don't want him to go elsewhere. I just want him to be in my starting lineup. It wouldn't be that shocking because Ten Hag really depends on youth players as well, and he doesn't hesitate in giving them a shot. And you could also talk about Ahmad as well, because Ahmad, he just won the league with Rangers, the Scottish League. So he's going to be high on momentum. He's going to be coming back in. And I think when we first got him, he was hyped up a lot. And we didn't really, see him that much the way we expected, because when he was bought and the kind of money we actually we paid Atlanta, I expected him to, actually be around the club and at least get a few minutes in, but he didn't.
I'm not sure if you heard the rumours in training, Shreyas, that he was absolutely killing it. He was murdering everyone, like skinning everyone. So I don't know. I thought, like yourself, he'd be involved a lot more. When he played against Milan, they brought him on against Milan, I think.
And he scored that header. Yeah.
Played as a false 9 against Wolves, looked really good. Looked promising. And Ten Hag likes inverted wingers as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, even in the short time that he played for us, for me, he did impress, because he's still 18, 19, and in that goal against Milan was pretty crucial. If we didn't score that,
he's composed for a young kid, which is a very big asset. When you're, I said very big, did that, a very big asset to have if you're a young kid, like, because that's not like a thing that you can kind of, work on. A lot of the time, you're born with it, aren't you? When it comes to composure.
So I think Ahmad, and even I think Mabry would get a decent shout from my side. And except that one, I mean, Garnacho is, he's around the club. He's just won the FA Youth Cup as well. So, there's a load of options there. But personally, I still see Ahmad and Mabry being a little higher on that list, because they have impressed a lot. Especially, Hannibal, when he came on against Liverpool, that tackle was just everything for me, on Jordan Henderson. So, uh, and except those two, one player that I personally want to actually get a chance would be Pelistri coming back, because when I saw him play for Uruguay, I was actually really, really impressed.
Yeah.
Such a young player, such a young person, going out for the national team and
Interesting
playing that.
shout that.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of people talking about Palestri at the moment. Rightfully so, they're talking about like Garnacho and like myself and talking about Ahmad. But Palestri had been at Deportivo. I haven't watched much of him, I have to be honest. I've seen when he plays against Venezuela or something like that. I've seen clips from that. It looks okay. But yeah, you think he's one of them players to keep your eye on going into preseason?
I think he could be, because the way Ten Hag likes his wingers passing around a lot, because he's one of those players who likes to pass a lot. I seen him play for Uruguay, and the way he linked up with Cavani, playing, those small passes. He made around 14 passes for the build-up with Cavani, and then Cavani went for the goal. Bang. So, and he's really, really good on the ball as well at such a young age. So I think, there's a lot of potential there, and I personally want him to get a chance, because I was impressed a lot by him, and same goes for Ahmad as well. I was impressed a lot in that Milan game when he did that header, and except that as well, whenever he did come on for us, he did impress me. So I think Ahmad and Mabry, and then a personal shout is Palestri.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how he kind of blends it with the players that come in as well, which is also obviously going to be kind of a long process in itself, getting them all to gel together. So very exciting for me. I'm looking forward. I can't wait for preseason to start just to see a different kind of brand of football, because I feel like Ralph was just thrown in the deep end, didn't have a preseason behind him or anything like that. Had shitloads of issues to deal with, and it's kind of like, well, what do you expect? Do you know what I mean? For the past 6 months, it's been awful. With the new signings coming in, definitely interesting. And it's clear to me that he wants his signings, before we actually start preseason, because a lot of deals have been spoken about now. As a manager, you want your players in as early as you can get them, so you can work with them. You can see the qualities, see what position is best for them. Are you guys expecting a lot of business between now and July when we actually start? Well, end of June, let's say, when we actually start preseason, because we're on the 20th of May or 19th of May, is it? 23rd of May, sorry.
Yeah.
So literally a month before preseason starts, pretty much.
Yeah.
Are you expecting a lot of business?
If we go on the history of United, no.
A 6-week one deal. Yeah.
Yeah. 2.5 years to get Sancho. That was a fun couple of years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
10 years of chasing Wesley Sneijder to never get him. That was another fun one. I'm hoping, like I said, I've been chastised in our group chat by Severe several times for my cynicism against Manchester United and the way we operate. And he keeps telling me, no, things are different. Like, people are gone and the regime's changed, blah, blah, blah. And I get all of that. And yeah, in theory, he's right. We've changed the regime. We've changed the people in charge, changed the people in charge of recruitment, scouting, all that stuff. All the different people. But they haven't proved themselves in any other job. They haven't done it anywhere else. So they need to prove themselves this summer. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of like the guy who, I can't do it on blind faith. Like, I have to see some sort of evidence in it. And until they give me evidence that they're capable of doing it and pulling off deals quickly and efficiently, I'm going to be wait and see and just see what happens, because I don't have faith in the regime after how many years of their transfer dealings. I don't have any left. Yeah. So hopefully, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope they prove me wrong and they go out. And when's the transfer window open? June, 1st of June?
No, I think it's July. I think it's
July.
1st of July. Yeah.
July, 1st of July, they come out and be like, bang, we've signed this guy, this guy's coming in. But I hope that's what happens. But I'm very cynical that I think we'll get anything soon or within June, anything announced in June, I don't think.
I'm just checking when the transfer window opens because I'm sure it's July. Oh no, June the 10th.
Okay.
It opens.
So yeah, I don't see anything happening between now and then. I don't see anything being announced. I don't see anything being announced till like beginning of preseason, maybe.
What, the first playoff, you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I can see Timber coming in soon. I think the next 2 weeks.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, and I
sign.
hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope.
Well, I think that will be the proof in the pudding ultimately, won't it? We'll see then. Well, maybe they have changed. You know what I mean? That is relatively quick business. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
I'm sure Surveyor's losing his mind watching this somewhere.
Yeah.
Sorry,
mate. Yeah, let's move on. So this is a quote from the first part of the interview on MUTV. So this isn't from the press conference. And Ten Hag said, "Today, I'm happy to meet you all. I'm really excited to be here. It was a really warm welcome here at the club. I'm looking forward to working with you all. This is my home and I want to achieve success." Do you think the fans, Shreyas, will be patient with him? Do you think they'll give him time?
I think they should. Whether they'll give him time or not is a different question, because we've seen how sometimes, even our fan base, gets divided about a manager, about giving him time or not. And that this has happened a lot with Mourinho, with Oli. It's happened a lot. So personally, I would want fan base to, have a common opinion about giving this guy time, because he does need time, because the squad is not cutting it at the moment and recruitments have to be made. There has to be a whole revamp. And he is also going to, have to take some time to actually, assess the quality of these players, because he's still just come in and he has to assess whether, this player could actually work for him if he, develop him, or if he give him a few games under his new system. So I think for now, at least for this season, he does deserve time, because he still has to, have that finalized checklist with him about players, whether to keep them or to release them, because we've still got a lot of contracts on hold and we've got loads of players going out. So I think, considering the kind of season we've just had, I think the fan base would give him time, because he deserves it as well.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Sam? Because I feel like the first 6 months are going to be a write-off, really. Like we've just mentioned, all the players that have got to leave, all the players that have got to gel, the young players who, can go like that in form. We've seen that with like Ilanga recently, haven't we? How far into the season are fans going to get? If we're 6 months down the line, we're still 7th, 6th, but you can see something progressing on the pitch. Would you be patient yourself and be like, look, this is going to take time?
Yeah, no, I'm just, next season, I don't expect anything. Next season. I just want to see entertaining football and progression next season. I don't expect to win anything. I don't expect to finish in the top 4. I don't expect any of that next season. I think next season is about building, getting players in, finding a system of playing, sticking to it, getting the players to gel, like you said, getting the young players in, all that stuff. That's what next season's about. Give him the summer window, January window, and then following summer window, and then maybe we're in a position where right, okay, we know where we're going now. We can start to plan and go forward and do the next step, which is to win a trophy. I think the match-going fans will be patient. I think people like me, you, Shreyas, people who sort of like watch it and break it down. So I think we'll all be very patient. The problem they have, and the problem because United are social media FC.
Yeah.
I think Twitter's going to lose its mind by about 6 months in if we're losing games, or we're not quite, or the right players are not playing. Like, if it could be like Donny all over again. Oh, Donny's not playing, but like that, just all that shite. Social media is going to be the toxic place, and we all know how much United cares about social media and interactions and clicks and all that sort of stuff. So as long as he ignores that, just ignore it. So don't pay attention to social media, because it's not going to do you any good.
I take that concept throughout life, if I'm honest.
I treat social media like a public toilet. I go in, do my business, and I get out. You don't want to stick around in there because it's just not worth it. It stinks and it's horrible. So just go and do your business, get out. I think match-going fan, most fans who watch every game, so I think most of us will give him time. It's just whether social media develops a thing where they start gunning for him and going at him, because I know that happened towards the end of Ollie's reign. I know it happened towards the end of Jose's reign as well. yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I just want to see a clear philosophy on the pitch. Like, I want to see a clear plan. I want players playing to the instructions and not just looking like the freestyling it, because that's the problem in Manchester United. A big team as they are, we always describe them as like a sleeping giant. No one can tell me how they play. No one can talk to me about tactics about Manchester United because they don't have fucking any. They've got none. No one knows how they play. It's just kind of, we don't know what to expect. We don't know who's going to be in the team. Like, I doubt a lot of us have got a team prediction right when we're doing these in the thing, because who would have expected fucking Lindelof at right back when we played Atletico Madrid? Little things like that. Like, it's chopping and changing.
Playing Bruno and Pogba up front when you got Marcus Rashford.
Yeah. So I want to see a consistency in team selection and start to develop them partnerships on the pitch. I want to see a clear philosophy, a clear plan, and players working in hard as fuck in defensive transitions and attacking. That's just what I want to see. I think if we see that in pre-season, Ten Hag's made his stamp straight away then. And I'll be happy with that. And then let the young players blossom naturally throughout the Europa, throughout the FA Cup.
Don't play him in 20 games in a row like they did to Elanga, and that's why they wonder why his form's gone to shit.
Exactly.
He's playing 20 games. He's always supposed to play in the entire season. He's supposed to play about 12, 15 games in a season. And he's played 20 games in a he's played 20 games in a row. It's
what Pep did
he's fallen off a cliff.
With Phil Foden. Yeah. He introduced it because everyone was like, play him. And these young players, man, like, they take a hit of confidence and the form just goes like that. If you can bring in like every 10, 15 minutes, we can get an assist or get a goal and just slowly like level them up like that. I think that's the perfect way to go for players.
He's doing it with Jack Grealish as well. He's doing the same thing.
Yeah. You get the special ones like your Jude Bellinghams and stuff like that who are just straight away. They're very rare talents. A lot of young players, 90% of them, 95% of them need nurturing. So, absolutely.
Klopp's doing the same thing. Curtis Davis, Harvey Elliott.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing the same thing. They're not playing every week. He's like, right, certain games, okay, you play. And he's developing them, and they're going to become really good players. And that's how it should be done. He shouldn't be just chucking in Ante Elanga for 20 games. It's not helpful.
Yeah, and Trey, as the final quote from the presser we're going to touch on is how will Erik Ten Hag's United play? And his response to this was, maybe you have seen Ajax. I like that. It's always players dictating the way of play. I have the ideal or idea. I'm not sure what you're saying there. I will line up my best team and I will line up my players like that to get the best out of them so that they can go to the maximum. They feel comfortable in the role, and in the end, it's about getting success together. As I said before, I, for one, am excited to see this injection of youth because, we've got a lot of young, talented players who deserve a chance and they'll be hungry to impress. He will turn them into pressing machines, but speaking tactically, what differences do you think we'll see in pre-season, Shreyas? Like, for example, when Rangnick came in the first half against Crystal Palace, we've seen the total change in formation, set up, everything like that. What do you think you're going to see in pre-season from him?
I think in pre-season, we as fans will get the clarity about who's going to be sticking around the club and who's not going to be sticking around the club, because that's the time when even Ten Hag will be able to, make sure whether his decision about playing a person is correct or not, correct or wrong. And secondly, I think we could be seeing which young player is, actually ready to make a name for himself under a United shirt, because we shouldn't, be hasty with them because, they're still very, very young, and playing for United week in and week out is, still a big amount of pressure for such a young player to handle. So there's that. And except that, we could be seeing, the young players that are already in the squad, we could be seeing better development for them because we'll have a manager who knows what kind of football he wants, and he knows what kind of, system a player has to follow in a certain position, whether it's
a clear idea.
Defense, midfield. Exactly. So, especially when it comes to our attacking side, we could be seeing a lot of development coming in for Jadon Sancho. And, if Marcus Rashford is still, going to be here, whatever it is for now, I think even he would be facing, a lot of new drills and a lot of new training because right now they have to, level up their game and adapt to the new system. And under Ten Hag, we could be seeing this a lot because he likes to, make those small tweaks. Even after, we see a refined system and we see that his players are there and things are working well, he likes to, keep changing things up a little because he doesn't want to be, predictable. And that's what we see from Klopp a lot of times as well. Because Liverpool are doing fantastically well, and he still, he likes to make those small changes just to, not make it too predictable. So that's one thing we could be looking out for, especially in the youth squad as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I want you to give me one young player who you think is going to break out under Erik Ten Hag. Who do you think?
Youth player, as in from the youth development squad?
So it's just a young player, so it could be Elanga. Obviously, Elanga's kind of broke into the first team this season, but who you think is going to develop really well under
Sancho.
Garno, did you say, Sam?
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be a first teamer, squad rotation?
I don't think he'll be a first team, but I think he'll get 15 games, maybe 12 games, something like that. I think he'll be involved in the sort of small games and stuff like that. Maybe cup games, maybe Europa League, stuff like that. I think he'll get games. I'd rather see him get 12, 15 games under Ten Hag than go back out on loan to a championship team. I'd rather see that. So I think he's going to be, he's shown his quality at Forest, and I think he deserves an opportunity in the first team.
What if Forest get promoted because they play Huddersfield in the playoff final? If they get promoted to the Premier League, and you could see Garner go back to Forest on loan in the Prem?
I'd still rather see him under Ten Hag. I think he'll get more out of Ten Hag in 15 games than he would at Forest in a full season.
Interesting. Shreyas, who did you say? Jadon Sancho, you think is going to really shine under Ten Hag?
Yeah.
Why do you think? What's the reasons behind that?
I think the reason being that, under limited coaching and under limited time, when he actually got the opportunity to, actually get some game time and, get a little consistent with his minutes as well, we did see how good he can be. Yeah. And that was just a glimpse. That's nowhere near to his Dortmund level. And he's still fairly young. So we can't really assess as to how good he can actually be because he's still really young. So I think he can still elevate his game in certain areas. And under Ten Hag, I think he could. Right now, the wingers that we have at the club, I think he's the perfect winger for him, considering the options we have at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think next season could be his breakthrough season for us.
I think if you look at Anthony at Ajax, the way he plays, a very creative winger, I think Jadon Sancho under him is going to work wonders.
Yeah.
Another very quick question I want to throw is before we kind of head off. It is a guessing game, but in general, who do you think is looking at in that squad and thinking, I cannot wait to work with them? Like as like an overall 20 players, he's looking at individuals thinking, you know what, I can really get something out of them. Who will be the surprise act, let's say, do you think? Who will be in the team next season? You're like, okay, interesting.
I think it's going to be someone like Shaw. It's going to be someone like Rashford. It's going to be an English youngish player.
Oh, Barry?
No. I could see it being someone like Fred as well. I think Fred's going to be someone very important under Ten Hag. Fred's someone who takes on instruction well, works hard, gives everything for the team.
I agree.
His ability is sometimes lacking, but I think everything he does, he puts 100% effort into. He's got the right attitude, the right mentality. So I think that's somebody who do really well. I think if Ten Hag can simplify his game and just be like, look, I just want you to do this. Just intercept balls, tackle, get all of it, break up play, and then give it to. And we get in a good 6 or we get in a Frankie de Jong or someone like that, just you can break the ball up and just like give it to them and get the ball going. I think if someone like Fred could be good, but I think someone like Luke Shaw or Max Rashford, I think he's looking at them and go, I can turn them into what they were previously,
but like have that sustainability at the top level,
consistency.
To keep it consistent.
So I think they're the two I think he's looking at and going, them two.
Shreyas, what do you think?
Donny van de Beek.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. I always forget about Donny. I always forget because he's at Everton. But
I really think it'd be funny if he just goes, nah. Don't fancy
It'd
it,
be
right?
crazy. No, it's going to happen, innit? Sure.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Imagine the headlines if he didn't, like, journalist again.
Ten Hag drops Donny.
Yeah, it's like crack for journalism, honestly. So yeah, do you think Donny van de Beek will be a regular starter? Do you think next season?
Yeah.
Especially if we sign a DM, right?
Yeah, especially if we sign a DM, because I've seen him how good he's been at Ajax, and I think coming into the squad, he is one of the players he's actually worked with and achieved so much. That Champions League run that they had, and Donny was very, very key in that. So I think if we get a DM in, I think Donny could work wonders in our squad, because he is creative. He an Ajax player, especially in that midfield, he can take up any position in that midfield, whether it's a 6, whether it's an 8. So even if this keeps switching it around, and the way the glimpses of Donny that we've seen as well, he has been able to score a couple of goals, especially in the last game that Ollie had against Watford. He was the one who ended up scoring the goal as well.
Yeah.
So I think there is a lot of talent there, and we missed out on him, I would say, because of Fred and McTominay being picked over and over and over again. So I think out of everyone in that squad, the most motivated one would have to be Donny van de Beek.
Yeah, and he's worked hard on the wraps, and like we said, we've seen a lot of players this season throw the toys out the pram, giving shit on social media. Journalists reporting that he was calling Ralph Specs or something, like in the thing, like loads of stuff coming out like that, like disrespecting. And Donny's just sort of, apart from chucking his chuddy at Mike Phelan's head, which is unintentional, he's kind of been very extremely professional given the circumstance. It was a summer signing, then for 2 years was just pretty much put on the bench, but didn't really bat an eyelid. It was just worked hard.
He's high on momentum as well, with Everton actually avoiding relegation as well. Yeah. He's high on momentum too.
He's showed the ultimate professionalism for me, Donny van de Beek. So he 100% deserves a chance, and I hope he is in the team by next season. But yeah, that's yet to see. Very interesting. And yeah, that is the show finished, guys. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on anything. Follow us on social media as well if you want, regular updates, live clips from the ground, clips from the show, loads of stuff. Just type in Real Reds Talk on any platform and you should be able to find us. Also, Instagram, check out our schedule TikTok on the Instagram page so you know what content is coming this week. And yeah, thank you for joining me, guys. This has been fun and it's been positive, and we haven't had to moan as much. It's been, few smiles on the faces, which is rare to say considering how the season's gone. Ten Hag's given an absolute belter of a press conference. He looks firm, looks positive, looks keen to get started, said all the right things. So there's not much more you can hope for really for a new manager coming in. Let's hope he can get to work very soon. We start seeing some transfers. And yeah,
sign a DM for the love of Christ.
And someone get Sam a DM, please. Anyone, just sign one.
As soon as we get a DM, I can calm down. I'll feel better. But for the love of God, just get me a defensive midfielder.
And whilst you're at it, sign Darwin Núñez, please. Thank you very much.
Sign Tchouaméni as well, just so Liverpool don't get him, because that's going to be...
Shreyas, do you want to give him one player before we go?
Sign Lamptey.
Lamptey, perfect.
I would love that. I would love that. I would get a United shirt with Lamptey on the back.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Cheers, guys. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.